Have you ever wanted to carry on from where you left off, Tony?
Well, not just choose.
Yeah.
I normally choose.
Okay. Have you ever played GoldenEye 64?
No, can't say I have.
Well, if you play Agent 64 Spies Never Die, you will think you are playing it right now.
Today.
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, it's on PC already? I can't actually remember.
Tangerine. No, you can't play
It's only on
GoldenEye on PC. It's a Nintendo exclusive that never came to PC
yeah.
because it had this really weird control scheme, which you're going to see now, which is you would push like an aim button, and then you would move your controller around with like the joystick in order to move around the thing to like shoot. So you could never like move and shoot. You would always stop, aim, shoot, and like the gameplay was reflective of that. And it seems like this like gameplay style has almost started its own like genre of games. People are like, I'm nostalgic for that terrible
Yeah, I'm not.
limitation of design that
I'm
I
really
want to
not
play a
feeling
game
it.
like this. At first I was like, this is weird, but it was actually very fun and
Okay.
kind of nostalgic for someone who has played GoldenEye before, like very briefly on a friend's Nintendo 64. I did enjoy playing this. This is the Steam Next Fest demos for FPSs, or as I like to call it, boomer shooters, because a lot of these games I played are inspired by like old 90s games.
Yeah, these
And
are old school shooters or premises.
yep.
Yeah, like with like yeah, as you point out, like engine limitations is like the reason for
But
a
like
lot of these control schemes.
one like old school shooter is very different from the other because this one's inspired by like the GoldenEye terrible Nintendo 64 aim controller aiming, and
Yeah.
then you'll have like ones that are inspired by Doom and some that are inspired by like, Half Life,
What?
stuff like
So when
that.
did do you know if off the top of your head when that game was released or like what sort of year it was released?
GoldenEye,
Yeah.
the 90s, I assume. If you could look it up,
Okay. Because I wonder like I should try to like if it was like late 90s or early 90s. Yeah.
I would say like 95, 96, maybe somewhere around
Mid
there.
90s. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess mid 90s, and you look it up live in this recording, and we'll see if I was right.
Yeah. 97.
I was gonna say 95 to 97. God damn it.
But that's not. I'm just gonna. But I want to point out that's not like a ridiculously long time ago. Like on the grand scheme of things, it's just
That's
insane.
what,
Like
like 20,
compare this
almost
to like
25 years ago?
Doom Eternal. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Go on.
24 years ago, and then we got Doom Eternal in 20. Was it 2020 it came out or 2021? I can't never remember.
2020. It came out in
Yeah, I was
March.
gonna say.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just I
Uh,
haven't played it yet, despite owning it.
from what I can tell, the layout of this game is almost exactly like the layout of the first level in GoldenEye as well. Like, it's eerily close. Did you read about that? There was a Far Cry 5 custom level that basically made GoldenEye in Far Cry 5, I think it was, and it
No,
got. Is
I've
either
not
Far
seen.
Cry 5 or Far Cry 4, like, their custom workshop thing, and it got, like,
Yeah.
DMCA taken down by.
What?
Yeah.
How? What exactly can they
I think
claim
it was the
the level
name.
design?
I think it was the
Oh, okay, fair
name
enough.
because it had the
Fair
GoldenEye
enough.
name. So I think they
Yeah, that's fair.
they
That's fair.
re-uploaded it and renamed it as Golden Cry or something like that. So yeah, you got to be a little bit careful about like when you nod and you wink
Yeah.
towards the GoldenEye stuff. You need to be like original
Well, you can't
asset,
just like
new
imagine if
name.
you. Yeah, I can't understand because like, if you have like this, like you write this really cool story, like even like if it's not like a corporate thing, like it's just like you made this story, it's done really well,
Hmm.
and like you can't really just let anyone like just put it in unless they're. Like, you can't have like on like as the name of something. I guess you can have it in there as like a reference. I think that's allowed, but you can't have it like promoting it using your name. That's kind of very iffy, even in the
You know, like
I don't, in a non-copyright world.
playing the game like this compared to like other FPSs we're going to be showing off, it makes you play the game very differently where you want to go into rooms very slowly and like map out where the enemies are going to be and like find your cover. Like it's a much more
Yeah.
strategic way of playing, whereas in like Doom, I just run in and I shoot shit and I don't give a shit. Like
I just feel
it's
like there's
interesting
a
to play something that's so different.
yeah, I just feel there's a better way to make you like do that instead of like just forcing you to have this dual control scheme. That really is annoying me. Um,
Basically, when you're playing on mouse and keyboard, you just hold down the ADS buttons. I'm just holding down right click and then I just move my mouse around to aim the cursor sort of thing.
yeah.
And it's really not like that annoying once you get used to it. Like it took me like 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, like it's fine.
No, but I just feel like you should be able to move and shoot still. But I understand you don't want to make it just like you can.
Well, that
I
was the
don't know.
big
I don't know how you would
limitation
do it in a different way.
of the system was that you just can't move while you shoot. But then again, that's what I'm talking about it being strategic. Is you when you're going to shoot someone, you need to put yourself in a position where you're in cover, or you're not just going to get blasted by a bunch of dudes. You can't just
Yeah,
walk into the
yeah,
middle of a room and then like start shooting because you're just going to get shot by all the angles because you've put your body while you're aiming in a really bad position.
yeah.
And there's not really any game that does this where they actually take that limitation of the original controls and they go, this is actually a feature and not a lot of people realize this.
Mhm. I just feel there's a better way of doing it, but yeah, I definitely understand that concept of yeah, like I guess kind of to me it kind of looks like the idea of like you're not very good with the guns, you can't like
Right.
move and shoot. Not knowing, I don't actually know how easy it is to move and shoot in the real world. Maybe it's like aiming is like an absolute like impossible when you're moving. I don't know. Um,
You can hip fire as well if you get close enough to the enemies. You can go a bit faster if you want to, but it's a lot easier to aim when you're using the slow like aim down sight thing. And there is like skill in sneaking up on unsuspecting enemies and then using the crosshair to like headshot some enemies
yeah,
that are far away very quickly. You can do like the medium approach where you kind of take rooms slowly and go in, or you can take the very quick approach where you just kind of try and run at people and hip fire at them. So there's still like different
yeah.
ways to play the game depending on how you want to play it. Um, but Agent 64 Spies Never Die. If you've played GoldenEye, you've played this game before, pretty much. If you've got nostalgia for that game, you'll probably want to pick this up and play it again on the PC. If you don't have nostalgia for that game, like I don't particularly have
I've,
GoldenEye Control nostalgia, this game is still really fun, and I would love to play it again. So,
yeah.
looking forward to.
Looking at the screenshots on GoldenEye 64, I would say this is like it looks cleaner on higher resolutions by the looks of it. Like it
Mm.
like it's still got the low bit rate, but like you can actually kind of still see what's going on. Whereas I can't really see what's going on in the screenshots of GoldenEye 64.
Okay, next up we have Dread Templar Prologue. So this is the prologue for a game called Dread Templar. It's a really good boomer shooter. That is what I'll say about it. It's essentially in the same vein as like the Doom
So
boomer
you're in a
shooters
temple
we've
then?
had. Tony, I did not look at the story. Come on, who do you
It's
think I
okay.
am?
Sorry.
You're doing something for some reason. So it's in that same vein of like the wave of like retro FPSs we've been having recently, like
Oh, I like the
Dusk,
swords.
Medieval, um, Iron
Oh, you
Fury.
can
Like,
throw the sword?
yeah, you
Okay.
can put your sword together to throw it, but then it goes on like cooldown until you can get it back again.
Why do you just put them together to throw it? Can you explain that one to me?
It looks cool.
Okay. Adds an extra limitation. You don't have any of your
It's like
swords, I
it's like
guess.
you know that meme where it's like logic versus reason, and it's just like
Yeah.
he's like you need to use facts and statements in your arguments, and the guy on the right's like I disagree. It's just like, how can you throw your sword? That doesn't make sense. The physics of the sword. It's just like, looks cool. Looks
Yeah.
cool.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's a lot of sci-fi stuff. Is like the rule of cool. Is what it's called in that. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
there's no sound in space, but it's cooler to hear a battle when there is.
yeah. I would still say that you can get away with like if you because you can have like reverb from your own ship or like close hits.
Mm.
Like that, I actually really like that. So if you go, there's a lot more effort to go realistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have a problem with unrealistic. Like, oh, I can hear. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. You can't really use the sound to figure out what direction they're coming either. So like, it's not really an issue for me.
Yeah. But it has
Yeah,
that, you know.
this looks good.
I like you can just,
Like,
enemies on the floor, you can just like chop them up when they're like,
why?
um, It's Tony. It looks cool.
So
Don't question it.
I'm sending you a screen though. What's that? Sorry, like a dash, sword, and arrow.
So the sword, as you saw before, when I threw the
Yeah.
sword, it needed to recharge. The dash is you do get a dash eventually. This is because this is the prologue, so you don't have all your abilities when you spawn. You eventually get a dash move that you can use to move around really quickly, which is really fun. And then there's like a bullet time mode that you charge up as well.
That's what the arrow is. Okay.
Oh, there's the classic ladder climbing that's really hard to wrap your brain around if you haven't played one of these old school games in a long time.
That's a no from me.
I feel like climbing up ladders is one of the most controversial things in video games. Especially like when I play... Oh, mate, if you tried climbing up ladders in the Source engine, it's just... Climbing... And then some games, so like in Source, you press E to go on the ladder. And then, okay... Did you climb up the ladder by pressing up, or do you climb up in the direction you're looking? There's so much nuances when it comes to ladder climbing.
Thinking from like base values, not just like other games. I'm just trying to think how I would do it. I would probably do it from arrow keys.
So you would climb in the direction that you're pushing, not the direction you're looking.
Yes.
Because that can be very confusing for some players.
The reason why I would do that is because say you want to like look around and still shoot, you can then self control of how you move, separate from where you're shooting, which is what the rest of the game would be like. It's an FPS.
Tony, it's a boomer shooter. I need to skip to the part where I get a shotgun so you can see what shotgun.
True. I will say I like your double pistol. I actually think that was really good. I'm more of a double pistol over a shotgun. But I really like shotguns as well.
When it comes to boomer shooters, Tony, I was seeing if you could
the
sword,
the sword. The sword is really cool.
Yep. When it comes to boomer shooters, you got to have a good shotgun. That's like the lore of boomer shooters. As someone who loves shotguns,
only good short range.
As someone who loves shotguns, I feel like when it comes to like modern FPS games, shotguns kind of got left behind.
Well, that's because like people, I don't know if it's entirely true, but like this was like back in like Call of Duty 4, 5 sort of era.
Yeah.
I saw people like complain like that's not how shotguns work, and it's like yeah, but if you make all guns similar to the real world, then they're all gonna be very similar. Like a lot of guns are kind of similar, I'm afraid, and I feel like you need to diversify them for gameplay reasons, and I don't see that as a major problem. Like if you're making a realistic shooter, fine. But when has COD been a realistic shooter?
There's games that are realistic and there's games that strive for realism, and I think there's a difference between them.
like authentic looking, not like realistic in how.
Sometimes you need to change something to make the gameplay more fun.
Yeah,
but you can still have realistic elements and story and stuff.
But Call of Duty is not a game of realism. Like I don't know why anyone was complaining about that in Call of Duty. Like it didn't make it like play armor. Like I don't know. I just didn't see. It seemed misplaced to me, and I feel like we need to bring back good shotguns.
Yeah, I love good shotguns.
And I feel like balance it in a different way. Like I get like you're having issues with these balances, but you keep other broken weapons in other games. Like just make them more powerful in their own unique way. That's how you balance games.
You get like a double barrel as well. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I'll say I'm expecting more like firepower coming out of the shotguns in this game.
But that's only one of the shotguns, Tony. And there's also you can also upgrade your weapons.
Okay, I understand now. Right, because kind of like Ratchet and Clank 2, then it's like the base guns don't look that impressive, but then they get more and more ridiculous.
So you have like a skill panel, and then you can add like extra firepower to your weapons.
That is cool. Okay, right. Also, Pistol and SMGs are on the same skill.
They share the same ammo, which is another thing that a lot of like old shooters did. Where, of course, pistols and pistols and SMGs did kind of both use 19mm.
Even the real world, they still kind of use similar.
Yeah,
the same. Like, if you're going to split between low and medium heavy caliber, then they still they're in the same sort of low class as pistols.
I think I'm about to use a dash here. The dash mechanics, am I? I think
actually you got it then, have you?
Yeah, I think I've got the dash now. Not now. Let's skip ahead.
Yes.
Oh, so this is kind of interesting. Just get back to that. The first level. So there's a level system. There's leveling in this game. Oh, here's a dash.
Oh, okay.
It's always funny when like
nice.
you play like these retro FPSs and you need to try and figure out whether they're old engines that look really good or they're old engines, they're new engines trying to emulate old games.
Yeah.
You have like the Boomer shooter double take.
Are we gonna have a crossover? We had RTX, the new engines pretending to look like old engines. Like that's gonna be the real like what the wait
a medieval has RTX.
Oh my god.
The Boomer shooter has RTX shadows on it, so it's already
too powerful. It's already happened. Okay.
Mhm.
So how many? There's not many. I'd say there's not many enemy types in this, but I haven't really been paying attention.
No, we're about to see some spiders now.
Okay. Oh, they're different. Yeah, low to the ground.
Because there was like a wall you could go through, and it was like you don't have to go this way, but this will give you more. This will be more like rewarding to go this way, but it will be harder.
Yeah.
So you like switch between pistols or SMGs. So SMGs will chew through your ammo, but they deal a lot more damage more quickly.
Yeah. Okay. You got like a massive horde, you use it, but pistols.
So that was me just going through like the hard zone. There is like specific save points in the game. Is how you save your games.
Right.
I think there's a boss fight even in this game that I do. Oh, here's me going into... This is the meaty double barrel. And
the thick barrel.
The thick boy. And then here's me going into bullet time to test it out. Bullet time, baby.
Yeah, this is
These guys are quite powerful. So you need to be like...
quite quickly.
There's another enemy variation. If that guy gets close to you, it does a lot of damage. So you want to like kite him. So what'd you say?
You move very quickly still during them, but it sounds like
as if, and
you'll feel
you can still like dash and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he's hiding.
Meaty boy. I don't know if that was a secret switch or if it's just like a normal switch. Obviously, if it's an old school shooter, there's going to be a bunch of secrets. Let's skip to the
of course.
Let's skip to like a boss fight. Yeah, so here's like a boss fight.
I love the walking animations he has. That's what. Oh.
But you take him down to like 3/4 and he's like, "We'll meet again, Templar." Like a tease to the brave. I was like, I could have taken him, Tony, if the game hadn't stopped me.
I agree.
If you've seen my Ultra Kill gameplay, Tony, you'll know that I defeat the boss.
Well, we beat the whole game.
I beat the game. Yeah. So you'll know that I'm a pro of boomer shooters. But yeah, let's move on because I will just sit and watch this Dread Templar gameplay because it's so like fucking
it is a very
sick.
good game.
So let's move on to the next one, which is Industria. This is another, I would say, boomer shooter inspired game because it literally says this game's inspired by the likes of like Half-Life, or like Half-Life 2 specifically, I think. It has a really interesting start. Especially for the demo. It starts off in like Berlin, but it doesn't start off as a shooter. You kind of start off as like a walking simulator thing.
They just like experiencing like everyday life sort of thing, or
I wouldn't say everyday life, based on what you're about to see.
Okay.
So apparently the Berlin Wall has collapsed, and then it goes into. You're in like the middle of a lab that seems to be like about to explode or something.
Oh.
But I actually thought this was really cool. Like it looks really good, and it was like a
this is cool.
Good way to introduce people to it. Looked like a good way to introduce people to like the atmosphere of the game. Like that was one thing I found about Industria was I thought the atmosphere they nailed it, and that was something that. Valve nailed with Half-Life 2 is the atmosphere of Half-Life 2 is fucking amazing, and that was something they always nailed. So like coming up to a strong and of course, Tony, I was talking about it in the other Next Fest video. I said like the beginning level of Half-Life 2 is you're just walking around in like a off a train station basically, and it's just showing you the world of the game you're about to go into. I really like the radio station, so I was trying to carry the radio through the entirety of the like intro. They got to a point where I got to a ladder and I couldn't progress any further with the radio.
No.
If you
didn't get the crafting mechanics where you get
No.
like a piece of tape and
I
combine
tried
it
to smash a
your
bottle
shoulder.
like I was playing Half-Life Alex. My brain has been programmed to try and smash every bottle in every game now that I've played Alex.
Right. Is it kind of like once you start breaking boxes, you see boxes like
Every time I load up a custom map in Alex, no matter I've played like 60 hours of the game, no matter how many maps I play, I just spend like half an hour just throwing bottles around every time I play.
Right.
But yeah, that's really cool. This intro is mostly just like a walking sim. Something weird happens, and then basically the actual game starts, sort of thing. And I think
is this like an alternative dimension? Like, was this just the world you live in?
I don't know, to be honest with you. It seems like it's got that old school like typewriter system where you have to save games at typewriters.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4 style.
Yeah, and then I ran into this bug, and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
That's part of the game, I think.
And I was like, okay, I'll just reload here, because obviously it's a demo, it's going to have bugs.
Yeah.
Can't go into the gameplay, though. Basically, it's very much like Half-Life 2, is what I will say. Like, it seems like heavily inspired, like you have all the same guns, pistol, SMG.
The big cables as
the
well.
crowbar is like a pickaxe instead of a crowbar.
Yeah.
But
I quite the aesthetics is really cool. I like this a lot.
I love the enemy design. They're all like these robots.
Yes.
Of course, it's called Industria.
I saw some of this before during the test recording, but like the arms fall off.
The arms fall off of. Yes, they have like procedural destruction on them.
Yeah, they can do less and less, I guess, as you damage them. If you hit them in the right place, I guess.
My first playthrough was very good. I think I died, so I had to like do another playthrough where I didn't die. I was trying to smash open the boxes just in case they had loot in them.
You a different axe for that?
I think the googly eyes on those little fucking dog robots is kind of goofy though.
I like them. I did try it. I didn't. I kind of like them being good, to be honest. I really like the old timey. I guess like I don't know, maybe like post World War II weapons. I guess.
Again, it has that like Eastern European like architecture theme. Again, Half-Life inspired. Literally, when they showed this off at E3, they were like, "This is a Half-Life 2 inspired game," basically.
Yeah.
So it was pretty obvious from the get-go that it was inspired by that game, which is why I was interested in it.
Yeah, this is very interesting. And so far, this level is like quite interesting in design already.
I think this is where I died, and I'm like, shit, got to start this again. And I was like, because there's no quick saving, so I was like, I'll play through it again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at like the robot destruction and stuff.
Cool as well, actually.
Yep.
I like myself like good weird robots as well. So.
Use some first aid. See if we can progress further than we did. You kind of just like go up those stairs. So I took it slower that time. I had like more ammo and health and stuff.
The stair, so it's like it opens. You have to be really careful. Yeah,
basically.
So they're fixed health with health packs, I presume.
Yeah, so you basically carry first aid kits and then use them as go sort of thing. And then basically you get to the top and it's like, oh, you need to go into this library for some reason, and then that's when the demo ends. So yeah, Industria. This game looks pretty cool. I would recommend checking that one out. I had a lot of fun with that, so check that one out. And then finally, the final game we have is called Severed Steel. Best way I can describe it for anyone who's played, what's Super Hot or Ghost Runner. It's like putting those two games together. The idea is it's an FPS game where time slows down when you aim down your sight, but you also have like these free running mechanics, like in like a game like cool. Ghost Runner or Mirror's Edge, where you can like slide, you can run across walls.
It might be more of a dive, Ghost Runner, but I don't know what you feel of that. Does it feel anything? Does it feel like Ghost Runner?
Yeah. It's got that very like cyberpunky
it reminds me like the movement, or at least from looking at it, like reminds me more of like how you move in Mirror's Edge.
But kind of you get like the basic
the animations though.
Yeah. Basically the story is like you just kind of go through like specific levels as if you're progressing through like a event sort of thing. Right. As you can see from like the screen, you can just like smash through windows, which I love. There's just a button to dive.
There's something there. So you just like so how does it have to dive? Just like you just like that's not how you dive through the windows.
You just press a button and then you like dive.
Okay, that's good.
And then basically because I played through the entire thing. I was like, this is amazing. And then like there's also an arcade mode with like bonus objectives that you can get. And it's basically you just replay through the story levels but with bonus objectives. So I did that as well because I enjoyed playing it so much.
Yeah.
Then you get to see like the objectives on like the story mode that you have to do sort of thing. And you'll see like you'll get bonus points for like killing people with doors. And like basically the whole game just comes down to like it's not insanely hard to kill people, but the real fun of the game comes in figuring out ways to kill people the coolest way possible is what you end up doing.
Quite a lot of enemies as well.
And then once you go into the arcade mode, you start getting points based on how cool you kill the enemies. Because like the guy was talking, one of the developers, because he showed off this game at one of the E3 conferences, and he was saying one of the things I had to that I found from watching high-level players play the game is they realized very early on you could just farm crazy amounts of points by being upside down. So people would just spend the entire time upside down, killing people, which was kind of funny. I've just gotta pump up the controls, see what quick control check. You know what it's like.
We're displaying it for the audience. It's very here the controls, guys. This is how you.
Oh no, this was just me. This was just my personal preference. I don't know if you feel the same way about me. I'm a very big fan of use on E instead of use on F. So whenever
I don't mind.
You don't mind either.
I'm used to F from games, and like if I need to use, if it's not anything useful, then I'm fine using it. But
see,
I keep it on F.
I'm very much used to use on E. It's a big source thing is use on E as well, like Half-Life and all those games.
Most games have use on E. That's a big thing. No, just that. Okay, so in my head though, right? You got the WASD and then you got Q and E on either side, and to me, like, if I'm okay with those being like quick to access things, then F like use doesn't then need to be as it's kind of like to the side of that, so it's hard. It's not as. It depends how quickly you have to press E, I guess.
It's just for me. Like I understand what you're saying. Like
just ingrained into
the place of the button is so useful for like a quick command where you don't necessarily need to have it to use something. But I feel like you do need to use things very quickly in a lot of games, and also like using things on E is as ingrained into my mind as like reloading with R is. Like I can't tell you how many times I switch weapon mods in Doom Eternal or Doom while trying to, like, when you first start playing, because you're so used to reloading guns, and then you play Doom and you're like, oh, you don't reload guns in this.
No, I was gonna say that in something like Skyrim, E is by default pick up, but I normally play with mods where I need to use Q and E for other stuff, so I can rebind it to F quite often.
Like when you like you run out of ammo in your gun, you just throw your weapon at the enemy to kill them. That's very like Super Hot.
Yes.
As someone who's played both Super Hot and Super Hot VR, that is very much a heavy mechanic in those games.
You've seen their weapons as well, right?
Yep. So when you run out of ammo, what you got to do is you've got to basically throw it at someone or kill someone else and then steal their gun, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So then this one's got more of a like non-linear objective where you have to go around and destroy these pistons to get through the level. And at first I was just like, I'll just go around and shoot these pistons, but then I found I ran out of ammo and then I think I die because I'm like, oh, I need to like farm some guns first.
You can punch people, I guess?
Yeah, if you run out of ammo you can go up and punch people. You see, I die there because I'm like, okay, this time I'm gonna farm some guns.
So what's the strategy for destroying the pistol?
What's the strategy?
Yeah, like
get a lot of guns on the floor. So kill as many people as you can first, and then.
I was thinking maybe there's like a way to destroy without using ammo or something.
No. Well, there might be. I mean, there's plenty of people who play this game, and there's like, as the Marty from Doom Eternal, he always calls the like elite level players. He calls them black belt players. So whenever he's talking about like, because like the average player, he's not gonna do like in Doom Eternal, for example, the average player is not gonna know to like quick swip between the super shotgun and the ballista cannon to like just maximize damage, sort of thing. But like the high level players or the black belt players are gonna know how to do that sort of stuff. So I'm sure like the black belt players could tell you like the most efficient way to clear this, but my strategy was like, I'm just gonna farm a bunch of guns and then I'm just gonna run around and pick them up.
Yeah.
Take out.
And when the rumors say deal with the objective. Safer, I guess.
But yeah.
The different weapons kind of feel different. Very similar.
They shoot differently. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's designed in a way you could just run up and pick something and immediately like shoot someone in that sense.
Yeah. But
there is like
like
this gun's like a triple shot. There's like AKs that have lots of ammo and like lots of quick shots, but then there's also like sniper rifles you can get. Or you can like, do you see there? I took his gun off him in slow motion and then shot him with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like this is a very interesting game. Like
I had so much. I had so much fun playing this that I literally, as soon as I finished playing the game, I was like, okay, I need to play arcade mode so I can just play more of this because it's just really fun. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would highly recommend Severed Steel as well. So yeah, that is Steam Next Fest FPS game. So if you're interested in those, check that out, and we'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.